How's it going? Let's go over some basics of drawing the head. And I think a lot of these are really necessary. I think a lot of these are kind of ignored too, even though these are like everywhere. But I am going to kind of go over it in kind of general ways to kind of draw the head. The girl's eyes are really far apart. But yeah, let's kind of go over it. So I guess the core of the issue when I see stuff like this is a lot of people don't really use the construction very well, or they don't use it at all. And I see this a lot like in kind of like new people, like people that just started drawing, and this stuff will help you immensely. So let me go over really quick just some stuff, some basics of the head that I think are really important, and I think that'll like help everybody out no matter what level you're at, especially if you're at the beginning. So let's kind of talk about it. So when I'm thinking of like the head in general, for example, I am always kind of thinking of like a lot of things in my mind that I'm not drawing out, but that I did draw out, and I recommend you draw out. So when I think of the head, I think of like, let's just go to bare basics, right? So the head, let's just say the head would be, let's go over here. I don't want to zoom in yet, so you can kind of see it, right? So you have planes. Planes are basically like one flat side. And I like to think of the head, and I kind of have this in mind, as a block, right? So there's like the block of the head. I could zoom in a little. Yeah, just a bit here. Again, the chick's eyes are too far. So you have like the front right here. You got like the happy face, right? You got the front plane of the face, right? The one we all look at. We basically look at that front. We have the side over here. And this is broad strokes, obviously. We have the side over here with the ear, etc. The profile, stuff like that we view as the side. We have the top of the head, right? The very top. These are simplified, ultra simplified, right, to the point of a cube. As you get down and you start chopping more into it, for example, like if we were starting for this as a sculpture of a head, you get down to the little bit, like let's just say we go a little bit, let's go this way on this one. All right. You start to get a little bit more picky, right? And you start to get into, and I'll draw it bigger, into stuff like if you know what the Asaro head is, that's a really good idea. We start, instead of looking at large, flat planes, right, the really large, broad strokes, you get a little bit more detailed with that. And we start paying attention to, like the plane of the forehead, right? The flat plane of, whatever makes the nose. I'm drawing this really tiny, by the way. Hopefully you can see this. The flat plane of like the nose, right? What's convex, concave, right? We have the concave eye sockets right there. Let me just fill those in a little, where you can kind of tell. And then we have like outward, the cheekbone, right? We have these little, what does that look like? That looks like that Dr. Doom character. And then maybe you have like the chin, like right there, right? You'll have this like big flat plane right here that's broken up into smaller planes, meaning smaller little flat spaces. And then you'll have like the forehead on the side, right? On the side of the head over here. And what I recommend you do is I recommend you go and look at maybe Google it and go to planes of the head. I mean, I believe I have one somewhere too. I think on my Gumroad I have a planes of the head. I have to go find. I'm not sure for free. I have to go look at it. But go check out my Gumroad just in case I do have it. I'm not sure. If I don't have it, I'll have it up. But we're breaking down the head into, smaller flat surfaces, and then you have this. Then you have this like in your mind's eye. You have this generic mannequin head. Right? It's kind of janky because of this over here. I'm trying it really small, so be kind. But you have this janky little mannequin, you have this like little mannequin head that you tend to fall back on to use. And again, just Google like planes of the head or simple planes of the head. There's no like right way to do it, right? There's a lot of different ways to find little planes of the head. But once you have the planes of the head, you can commit that to memory. You draw it over and over and over again, right? And so now you have the front side of the front plane of the head, but they're all broken up into little planes. And then you have the side of the head, right? But it's all broken up into little planes. And you have these committed to memory, and they're always in your back pocket forever. You will always have that. Let me zoom out a little bit. 1 second. Let me zoom out. Come on, zoom out. Come on, zoom out a little bit more. I'm trying to pinch this thing. All right. Well, so then, and then that's what's going on here, right? I'm thinking of like the cheekbone, even though like on a female type, I don't really see it right that strongly. I have that, and I think I urge everybody to have that. Every artist, in my opinion, has that. Almost everyone that I know has that little simplified mannequin that you drew over and over and over again to fall back on, right? In case you're drawing something else, and when you're drawing, maybe you're not fully getting it. So you're kind of like, okay, so for example, like this, when I look at this head right here, this half-finished head, I'm like, okay. And obviously, you have to customize it to each person, right? How big someone's chin is, et cetera, how wide somebody's face is. But I'm like, you know what? This looks a little long right here, right? This space. Obviously, it could be the type, but space looks a little bit long. I'm going to cut, like, because I have that mannequin in my head, I know it's probably going to be, if I want to be safe, and make it look human or whatever, or, like maybe I lost a reference or something, I'm going to cut it there instead of over here. And maybe that head's too big, right? And so having that mannequin head is, I wouldn't say the secret. It could be the secret because, there's no secret, right? It's out there. It's just saying like that's something that almost nobody uses when they're a beginner. Because I told my friend about this. I gave them a mannequin head to practice in front of me. And then I had her draw a head again. And she did it like immediately better in front of me. So that's what I'm saying. Have one of these little plane. Look at Google planes of the head. Pull that up. Start drawing one of those. Doesn't matter which one. And then eventually you'll kind of create your own that you use all the time. And again, that's kind of it. I really hope that makes sense. I'm going to recap it now, just really fast for anybody that showed up late. I do want to recap really quick what I was talking about. So I was talking about anytime you draw the head at all. Obviously, these are all like female heads. But any head whatsoever. There's different rules for female heads and male heads. Like you got a female type and a male type, and there's kind of like not rules, but there's usually like concepts that that change from one to the other, right? You don't want to add like hard cheekbones because it might make you look a little masculine or older. Just depends. But so just to recap, I think of like drawing a head. I always think of like the front plane, the top plane, the side plane, the bottom. Sometimes the bottom, but it's really just the chin. Really, you're thinking of like this little happy face right there. Yeah, let me zoom in real quick. So I'm thinking of the head like this initially, overall, to help me organize the shapes I'm looking at. Then I break it down into this, like little planes of the head, like with the eye socket, the nose, and the cheekbone area, the mouth, the forehead, especially the forehead and the side of the head. That really, really helps separate stuff. Side of the cheek. And when you break it down like that, again, I recommend you Google one, or I think I have one. I'm not sure. That's why I'm not, saying that definitively. But just Google planes of the head, find what you like, doesn't matter which one, and start drawing it over and over till it's committed to your mind. Then, when you have that committed to memory, you will have that for the rest of your life. Like it'll help with, again, measurements, like I was talking about right here. Hey, that I think the back of her jaw ends here to make it look more human. It might be different if you have a photo and it's different, right? Because everyone has a different type of face. But you have that generic mannequin head to start kind of, pulling out different things based on who you're looking at, right? If you're doing it from reference. If you're doing these from your mind, this helps. This is like vital, in my opinion, having one of those mannequin heads memorized. Because when you start drawing stuff, and you start maybe like it starts going off the rails, you'll pull yourself back because you have this as a safeguard in your memory. Anywho, that is it. We're going to keep it short today. I can't remember. I'm always on for like 10 minutes, but you guys are amazing. What I want to do is I want to come back and do like an hour-long lesson, and I'm just trying to think of what topic. I might just do the basic head maybe, right? Like that could be an hour next time. So But thanks so much. You're amazing. Go check out the store. Go check out the free stuff. There's a lot of free stuff in the bio link. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.